I know that tomorrow is a huge day. It's unlike any other day, not like any other day when people just gather there. Millions and millions are going to gather tomorrow, and they want to mobilize and do something more. I know that they no longer want to sit ignored like this in Tahrir Square. They want to do something further.
A protester in Tahrir Square tonight talking to Al Jazeera about what happens when the sun comes up in Cairo, which is moments away. Today in Tahrir Square, the protests were led by striking workers, laborers. Outside Cairo, protesters set fire to buildings. And in the south of Egypt, farmers were angry over bread shortages and blocked roads with flaming palm trees. Joining me now on the phone from Cairo is Ahmed Rehab. He is the executive director of the Chicago office of the Council on Islamic American Relations. Ahmed, great to have you with us tonight. Your anticipation of what is going to unfold when the sun comes up not too long from now in Cairo.
As a peaceful revolution, the only weapon that you have is numbers and perseverance, and that is precisely what the Egyptian people have shown the world that they're capable of. It's a glorious revolution from that perspective. They've been very restrained, very committed to peaceful means, but that does not mean that they're going to sit idly by as this government continues to ignore their legitimate requests and demands for freedom and democracy.
Mohammed al-Baradei tweeted after Mubarak's speech today that, quote, Egypt will explode. The army must save the country now. What did he mean by that, in your opinion?
Well, when you have millions in the streets and you don't have a police force manning the streets anymore because of the dubious government's decision earlier 2 weeks ago to remove the entire police force off the streets, you can expect anything. I don't expect violence from the protesters, but should there be large numbers and should they descend on sensitive locations like the state television building or the presidential palace, one may anticipate a government response that can be less than peaceful. And so that is the concern that I think al-Baradei is referring to.
How long are these protests going to last, Ahmed? I mean, what has to happen for the crowd to be satisfied and disperse and know that there is going to be fundamental political change and Mubarak is going to be gone? Because everything that's been said so far has only motivated them to come back. What is it going to take? And how long is that perseverance that you talked about? How much resolve do they have?
Ed, when the revolution started, it started as an appeal. People had no expectation but for reforms to happen under the current administration and for Mubarak to promise not to run for office. But when the government responded with brutality, first through the police force and then later through the thugs, really, that they hired to intimidate people and reporters, and after people shed blood and the blood price for freedom was paid, the demand increased and the bar became higher. People now wanted a full regime change. They don't trust the current regime to instigate reforms. The end goal here is democracy. And the only reason why the people are so adamant to not be this current regime is because they simply believe that this regime is incapable of bringing about democracy.
Ahmed Rehab, thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it. The chant in Egypt today, revolution, revolution until victory. Our continuing coverage of the crisis in Egypt continues. Stay with us. We are right back.